Tarte takes the prize for the weirdest collab ever, and what is going on with GOSS? Are you okay? Welcome to this week's new makeup releases. We chat about the new makeup that's been released, announced, and sneak peeked. I go through the internet to find the most interesting things to talk about so that you don't have to spend your precious time looking for all the makeup news, looking for some industry news. If you want to just keep up to date and see if there's anything that you're interested in picking up, or maybe you just want to tell me in the comments that you don't like any of it, that's also perfectly fine. But I will let you know about the new collabs, the new releases, some new gossip about the makeup industry, all of those things, and then you let me know down in the comments how you feel about these different things. But before we get into the makeup news, let's hear from today's sponsor. I'm super excited to let you know that today's video is sponsored by e.l.f. You know I love e.l.f. and I've talked about them before here on my channel, and today we're going to be talking about a different tool from them. This is the e.l.f. Re-Glow LED Face Mask. Doesn't this look so cool? I love a good LED mask. e.l.f. has 10 plus years of expertise in optical skincare with over 600 patents and 30 different products. This is expert approved with the support of Dr. Michael R. Hamblin, who is a renowned pioneer within light therapy. The new Re-Glow LED face mask is the next generation of skincare where you can expect visible results within 14 days. The Re-Glow LED mask helps to get smoother skin, it helps with acne, and increases the skin radiance, and this with only 10 minutes a day. The Re-Glow LED face mask has patented biomirror technology. This is precision engineered LED lamp beads for optimal light coverage. Mirrors enhance light reflection, delivering maximum energy to the skin. The Re-Glow LED face mask has 272 high performance LED lights, the specified design, and the customized lamp beads aimed for specific problems like nasolabial folds or forehead wrinkles. As you can see on the inside of the mask, it has that patented mirror technology with the different beads, and every bead has 4 different lights for the different modes that are in here. This enhances light reflection and makes this mask extra efficient. Not only is it efficient, it is also reliable, and it is safe, and it is FDA approved. May I also add, it's super easy to use. All you do is plug in the controller to the mask. There's one button to press. You press the button and it turns on, and then you press it again for the different modes. Like, I don't know how anything can be easier than this. So there are 4 different modes with this mask designed to target different skin conditions. The first one is Glow, which brightens blemishes and dullness for a more radiant tone. The second one is Firm, which stimulates collagen to plump skin and reduce wrinkles. Third one is Rejuvenate, which strengthens the skin's barrier for calmer and more even complexion. And the fourth one is Clear, targets acne, causing bacteria to soothe irritation and control breakouts. And this mask is super easy to use. All you have to do is slide it on, and then you adjust the band, and then you have this protectiveness around your eyes so that you can be reading, watching TV, answering emails, whatever it is that you need to do, doing the dishes, but the protectiveness around your eyes and how comfortable and ergonomic this feels on your face makes this a very easy routine to pick up to make your skin the best version of itself. So don't forget to check the description box for more information about the Re-Glow LED face mask. e.l.f. did give me a discount code in case you're interested in checking this one out, so don't forget to check out the description box for more info. Again, thank you so much e.l.f. for coming back and sponsoring another video on my channel. I am a big fan of e.l.f. and their devices. And I did actually film this look. Let me actually scoochie to the side. I did film this look. I did a little Instagram reel, and it is with the new Agate Temptation, which is the palette by Singe Beauty that is releasing today, as you're seeing. Well, I don't know when you're seeing this, but it is releasing on Friday the 16th at noon Central Time over at Singe Beauty's website. I will leave a link to it down below. In case you're interested in this palette, just know that today is finally the day. It is available, and I recreated the look that I did for the reveal dinner that we had in Destin because a bunch of people were asking me like what I used. I don't know if this is an exact recreation, but that's what I did anyways, and I will have that up on short form soon-ish. I will leave the video down below where I'm doing all the swatches and everything as well in case you're interested in hearing more on that palette, but just know it's finally here. Almost, depending on what time of the day. If you're early, it's almost here. If you're late, it's already here. I think we finally as well have all the details with the Glamlite and Lord of the Rings collab. Remember what I said? This is gonna be a lip kit. It's gonna be the ring highlighter that's gold. Listen, it's gonna be a palette and there's gonna be a makeup bag. I want to say you heard it here first, but you didn't, because this is what they do. And I will say, I think my predictions were pretty true. There is indeed a makeup bag. There is indeed 2 lip kits. There is also one of those lip kits, like the lip care kits. I probably could have guessed that as well. If I took 3 more minutes to think about what's in the collection, I would have guessed one of those, like the lip scrubs and the lip things, because they have been doing a lot of that as of late. It is a highlighter that's the like ring theme that is golden. There is a palette, there is a makeup bag. They haven't, and I didn't mention this in the video, but someone mentioned in a comment, again, have I been given 3 more minutes to think about it? I probably would have guessed the mirror as well. I will be deeply surprised if there's not a mirror in this collection as well. I'm actually editing this video right now, and it seems like Glamlite has shown the final collection and there's no mirror. So color me surprised. Color me surprised. I really thought there was going to be a mirror. This has got to be the first collection since I don't know when that they don't have a mirror in their collection. Kaisa's surprised too. Do you not agree, Kaisa? Kaisa? Yeah, she agrees. And again, I love Glamlite. I love Glamlite so much. I have a code with Glamlite. You can use my code and get some money off. I will probably be ordering parts of this collection because, again, I love Lord of the Rings. I just feel like there's too many collections, and I feel like a lot of the collections have the exact same items, just different packagings. There's always a lip kit or 2. There's always a highlighter. There's always a makeup bag, a mirror. There's like lip scrub duo that's going on, and a palette. And I feel like Glamlite is almost like excluding the core audience that they have. And here's the thing. Maybe that core audience doesn't matter anymore, which is fine. And I think that this is what Colourpop did as well when they were doing so many collections and so many collabs, and they kept every collab and every collection was the exact same thing. Again, it was 1 or 2 lip products. It was some kind of a skincare or lip care thing, and then there was a palette, and then there was an accessory. And I feel like at least now, especially with that Tangle collection, I really feel like at least they did like liquid highlighters, and I'm like, okay, you're doing something different. I appreciate, and the liquid highlighters were by far the best part of that collection. And I feel like with Glamlite, if you're gonna keep doing 2 collabs a month, if that's your thing, and if, I bet they're selling amazing and that's why they keep doing this, can we at least have some different things in each collection? Because it's gonna be really hard to have returning customers if it's the exact same things in every. How many mirrors do we need? How many makeup bags do we need? And that's why I'm saying like the core audience, because I feel like at that point we're no longer trying to sell to a returning customer, because why would you return to buy your 15th makeup bag, your 12th mirror? And also, like, I don't even like lip kits. I want to buy the things separately. I really want to buy the things separately. I don't like an already predetermined lip kit, but I understand that it saves a brand so much money to bundle things together, because then you're not left with stock with that one thing in the one color that nobody wanted. Because again, as a brand owner, I totally understand, much smaller of course than Glamlite, I totally understand that conundrum of just being like left with one color of a product that just didn't sell as much as other colors of. I totally understand that. But it's really hard to get excited. Let's though talk about the palette, because I do feel like the palette, we talked about this in a chat a little bit. I saw people were chatting about it, and I gave like my thoughts about it as well. And I said there that I think the palette is kind of cute. Does it feel Lord of the Rings? Maybe not. But also, what is Lord of the Rings makeup? The Lord of the Rings franchise, I mean, if you've read the books, they're literally they're away from the movies. I think that's something that the movies are not portraying as well as the books are. They are gone for a long time. Like, this is not a 4-week thing. They're gone for years. This is a long trip. So they see so many things, and can a palette really capture Middle Earth? I don't even know. And also, like, is it based on the movies? Is it based on the books? Some of it is pretty similar, but also, like, you can't just hone in on one thing, because Rivendell is so different from the Shire is so different from Mordor. Everything is just so different from each other, so I understand why you kind of have to hone in on something. Also, if you hear something in the background, they're doing not even yard work now, they're actually like doing some work on a road here. So they're like drilling in the ground. I can hear it very... I don't know if you can hear that, but if you hear it in the background, I'm really sorry. They have to do their stuff. I don't think it's a bad palette. And I honestly think when I look at it, I think the palette is, for being Glamlite, actually kind of different from what they released before. And I think that that is absolutely amazing. It's leaning a little bit more cool toned without going into reds, which has been their thing for maybe 1 to 5 too many palettes. And I think that this one is giving cool tones with a couple of warm tones, leaning a little bit more into almost like a minty purple. And I like that. I like that. So I'm probably going to pick up this palette. I will say again, let me show you the swatches. And I've said this before. I really think, again, maybe they don't need it. Maybe they sell out anyways. I really just don't like the swatches. Me personally. I think that this is not giving swatches that are like professionally done. Also, I do think that there is a strength in being able to be a brand that does a lot of things in-house, and I know that that's what Glamlite does. I do not love the swatches though, because I know myself, with a lot of brands, you see swatches and you know, they're not going to swatch that well when I get it. But with Glamlite, I know my swatches are going to look better than this. And I don't know if I think that that's... I think your swatches should be the best representation of the palette ever, as good as it can look. Not like... this will actually look better when you get it, because like we're trying to sell products here. Again, that's just me being very nitpicky. With that being said, I do think this is a unique palette and I will probably be buying it. When is it releasing? I actually don't know. My guess would be, I think they're going to release it on TikTok first. I don't know if it's coming on site as well, but I would not be surprised if it happens either maybe late this weekend or early next week. This is me guessing. We've also seen a collab between the Wizard of Oz and SheGlam. I don't really shop from SheGlam. I don't shop from Shein. SheGlam is the beauty brand of Shein, and I think that fast fashion is one thing, but I feel like Shein is like ultra fast fashion. And personally, since I don't need to shop from Shein, I can make a conscious decision to not shop from Shein or SheGlam. And that's just me and my personal... I will never judge. Like, you do what you need to do with your finances. That's just a personal take from me, and I will not judge you if you if Shein or SheGlam is where you need to get your stuff. But they are releasing a collab with Wizard of Oz, and I will say I think the packaging is pretty cute. That little like Wicked Witch eyeliner that has a little hat on top is quite honestly, that's really cute. And then there is one that looks like a wand. I don't know what that is exactly. Medal of Courage highlighter. Oh, that's the... oh, okay. Click Your Heels lip gloss. I have no idea what's going on here. There seems to be a bunch of different pieces, but quite honestly, I think that this collection looks really cute. I am not against Wizard of Oz, but I don't myself have any nostalgia or any feelings connected to this. So for me, I'm gonna opt out of that one. I don't need to buy any of that. There is a collaboration between Colourpop and Lilo and Stitch. This one is being delivered to me either today or tomorrow, and I will say I really like the color story of this. There's something about the blues meets the reds, the pinks. It feels very retro in a way, almost like 50s with the blue and the red. There's this like juxtaposition between those two colors that for me feels very retro. Like, I don't know why, maybe I'm totally off. And I'm really loving, are those lip glosses or lip tints? Ultra glossy lips with the flavor technology. So I'm guessing they are flavored in some way, and they're like in little popsicle packaging. Looks so cute. Then they have one of those highlighters. I am not loving that packaging for highlighter, but I do like the embossing. Looks almost like a tropical flower in a bit. And also there is a one of those cream blushes that changes from blue to pink. I think that's pretty cute, and it's really cool to have one of those in a collab, because I feel like if you don't want to get the palette, you can always get like just a little blush or a lip gloss and you'll be totally fine as well. Is that... oh, there's a Shadow Sticks duo as well. Oh, those are cute. It's like a blue and a lavender, goes with the palette. Like I said, this one is being delivered to me. You can use my code with Colourpop and get some money off. And quite honestly, I think this looks really good. I've already pre-filmed because I am heading out in 2 weeks. I'm heading out to Greece. I'm gonna be spending 1 week together with like a group trip we're having with Trova trip. We are spending a week together, and then I'm staying for a couple of more days to spend some time with my mother and my best friend Lisa. They're coming down. I haven't seen my mother in a bit, and Lisa rarely gets to travel, so I feel like this is the year of Lisa traveling. We're gonna spend some time together, and I did pre-film like a palette ranking for the time when I'm gone. And I did mention in that video, that I feel like Colourpop kind of lost their spark with eyeshadow formulations, because a lot of the recent palettes, I haven't disliked the color story. I think the color story of the Tangle palette is really nice. I just don't love the quality, and I don't know. I feel like we used to talk that 2 years ago. We used to talk about Colourpop having a good formula and a great formula. Now I feel like Colourpop has a good formula and a pretty meh formula, and lately they've all been pretty meh. So I'm kind of wondering what will be. I will definitely try it out. I'm just kind of worried. And also, this is of course the Lilo Stitch collection, and this is the movie is set in Hawaii, and I actually booked a trip for me and my husband to go to Hawaii as our like summer vacation this year. We are celebrating. I just talked to my friend Ali on Polo, and I just realized that me and my husband are celebrating a 5-year wedding anniversary actually, as we're going down to Hawaii. So maybe we can celebrate staying together for 5 years. They say the first 2 years are the worst. It's been nothing but a breeze with my husband. So maybe I'll bring one of these things to Hawaii as well, and just, I don't know, take a nice picture. Let's talk about the Tarte collab too. I feel like Tarte, this past year, I've heard a lot of like, they're not I don't want to say they're in drama, because I feel like maybe that's too much, but I've heard a lot of just mini dramas around Tarte so much the past year that I'm kind of wondering, when will people just, I don't know, show up at their place with pitchforks? When will people be like, enough is enough? I like a lot of Tarte products. I also dislike a lot of Tarte products. But this collab that they are doing with Tarte and The Secret Life of Mormon Wives, I feel like this is really, we are tethering on the edge of what is really a good thing to collab with. Because yes, this is a TV show, it's on Hulu, and even like the thing is saying, are you a sinner or a saint? And I think that's a very bold choice. And again, I wonder when people are just gonna be like, I need you to chill a bit. I think this is a little distasteful, because yes, it is a TV show, but also like, I think also the TV show might be glamorizing and normalizing what is quite honestly not the everyday life for a lot of people. I think that I would love to hear your thoughts about this, because I saw that and I'm like, that's a choice. Ooh, we've also seen some sneak peeks now. Lethal Cosmetics has shown us some sneak peeks of their upcoming palette that is going to be part of their collaboration with Adventure Time. Adventure Time, I haven't really watched a lot of Adventure Time, but I do know that this collection is heading my way. I will be doing a video on it, don't you worry. And I kind of want to watch a little bit more of the show before. Where can I find Adventure Time? So I'm showing you a collage here with a couple of the pictures. I am not surprised that this is like just really playful and colorful. I cannot wait to see what this is going to be. They even say it here, vivid, playful, mathematical. I just think all of this looks really cute, really promising, and I cannot wait to dig in. I especially like that, like when I see the colors here, it just looks like there's a lot of different tones in here. I love me a good colorful palette, so this makes me really excited. What do you think you're gonna see in this collection? What would you like to see in this collection if you're really, really familiar with this franchise? Something that is dropping from e.l.f. is their new like tint blush. This is a cheek, it's a cheek and lip tint for buildable sheer color with a hydrating, watery texture for sheer, long-lasting, transfer-resistant, blah, blah, blah. It's a stain. This is basically those like jelly sticks but in a liquid instead. And I honestly think that it's really smart of e.l.f. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit now and watch them come out with one of those like jelly sticks in like a couple of months, but I think it's smart for them to do a lip and cheek stain in a liquid formula instead, and just be like, we want to jump on the lip and cheek stain train as well, but we're not gonna 100% copy the entire texture of it. Because I feel like, and a lot of people are, that's something I've been thinking about, I feel like TikTok has just renamed what a dupe is. Because I remember, listen, I remember, you probably remember, Pepperidge Farm remembers, back in 2015, 2016, a dupe was something that was like, gave a similar look, a similar feel, and a similar color on your skin, your eyes, your lips. A copy was something that was meant to look like that product, both in like packaging and appearance, and whether or not it appeared the same on the skin was less important than it looking like that product when you bought it in store. Now I feel like even like straight up, like I'm saying counterfeit objects is on TikTok being mentioned as a dupe, and I'm like, that's not a dupe, that's illegal. Like, that's a Chanel bag with a fake logo that you bought from, what are they called, the fake websites that they, that's not a dupe, babe, a dupe is something else. That's an illegal counterfeit. I need us to start using dupe correctly again. If something is a straight up copy, that's a copycat. If it has the logo on it too, that's counterfeit. And I feel like this is more like a dupe, and I like that. It's duping the vibe, duping the feel of it. I think that that is something that drugstore brands do really well, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of it. Do I need something like this in my life? No. They named one Orange Crush though, and I feel like e.l.f. is twisting my arm. They named it that to get me to buy it. Oh my god, can we talk about this one? Oh, I talked to several of my creator friends on Instagram when we saw, this is the new lip glaze from Glossier. This is a creamy lip oil. It says it is a refreshing sheer, they not, listen, hold that. Hold the sheer. That word will be very important soon. Sheer glaze of color, lightweight, non-sticky shine, blah, 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 blah. And it comes in 6 different colors. Because I need us all to look at these swatches. I wrote to one of my friends, I was like, go off queen, give us nothing. What? You know, sometimes you see swatches and you're like, no, it will show up more different than other skin tones. Here, Glossier is literally showing you, no, it's the same shade on all skin tones, just across the board. And there is, you know, the Glossier look is basically like sheer, borderline, Emperor's New Clothes, are you really wearing makeup? But this is just ridiculous. They really went into the lab and they went, listen, we want pink, light pink, almost pink, ballet pink, soft pink, and let's go wild and call it mint, but actually translucent. Why? I do probably understand why, because when you order something like this, you usually need to, your MOQ, like your minimal order quantity, is usually set to this many thousands. And then the factory will say, but that's okay, you can split it up with different colors. And that's when Glossier went like, sure, let's do 5 identical pink and a mint that's actually not mint. That's, honestly, I can't see any other story than that. Because they're like, oh, we can't just have 2 shades. Let's do 6 shades. Because I get it, it's Glossier, it's supposed to be sheer, it's supposed to be like almost not there, but this is not there. That's what this is. This one though, I am actually really interested in, and this is from Glow Recipe, and they are releasing a glassy balm lip treatment for shine and hydration. I feel like there was a video, you're gonna have to tell me whether or not I am misremembering or if I dreamt this, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned in a video, I was talking about, I have it here, hold. I was talking about this product, the blush that's actually skincare, do whatever you want with that information, from Glow Recipe, and I said, I bet their next product is something like this, like a skincare meets lip product with color, and here we are. Listen, I'm pretty good predicting stuff like this. And they're coming out with it in 4 different colors. One of them is just a sheer, and one of them is a pink. One of them is like a raspberry red, and that one looks absolutely amazing. And I am very, very interested. I don't know why it's called Bingsu. Strawberry Bingsu. I'm sure there's a backstory to that I don't really know, but I gotta tell you, 4 shades, they do look at least somewhat different, and I am definitely gonna try out the sheer pinky red. You know, I love shades like that. Perfect for summer. I love wearing like a nudie beige lip liner that's leaning a little brown, and then one of those like sheer red lip treatment thingies. Favorite for summer. Kylie Cosmetics is coming out with a hybrid blush. So this is going to be one of those putty formulas that's like a little creamy, like, you know, the one from Rare Beauty, and then dries down to a powder. It's a first of its kind formula. I wonder at what point you can just call it out and just be like, because I know we have rules about that, at least in Sweden. Melts into the skin like a cream, but has the soft focus smoothing effect like a powder. Suede-like texture. I can promise you right now it's going to be one of those putty textures that blurs on the skin and looks a little powdery on the skin while it performs like a cream. I think it looks really beautiful. The marketing photos look really pretty. They don't look too styled like with the different swatches and pictures. I really do like that. Everything looks good. Has a bunch of different colors. I don't hate the colors either. Not something that I'm going to be trying out because I have the Rare Beauty ones, but I think it's a pretty smart release. It seems like the blush craze is still going strong. We also have a tinted, I think it's a tinted SPF. Yes, Covergirl Clean Fresh Blurring Skin Tint SPF 30, $13.99, already available. And it comes in 6 different shades. It has a pretty good gradient on the shades. And since it is a tinted SPF, I'm sure it's pretty sheer. I will say I love a tinted SPF for when I'm traveling. It is literally, I am a full beat, give me 20 different steps of makeup when I have the time to do it. When I'm traveling, I turn into this kind of a minimalist where I'm all of a sudden doing my makeup in 6 different steps. I'm applying a tinted SPF with my fingers. I am out the door. So something like a tinted SPF is great for me. I already do have some that I like though. And if I'm trying a new one, it's probably going to be the one from Merit that we talked about last week. But I think it's nice to see some of these from the drugstore too. I know I tried out one from, I think it was Physicians Formula that I really enjoyed. It was a while ago. Also, who told Shakira we needed another celebrity brand? Sure wasn't me. This is the Isima hair care brand. I will say though, if she's gonna release something, at least it's a hair care brand. I think that her career has like 20% been defined by her amazing hair, so why not? I do wonder what it's going to be though. I feel like, is this even going to be available to us? Because if I'm not totally mistaken, Shakira is Colombian and she is like a hero in her home country. So I think that this would be a success even if she only released it in Colombia or like in South America. I'm excited to see what this is going to be. It says coming soon on their website, so I guess we're going to have to see whether or not they ship to different countries. Something new is coming from NYX that I'm very excited about, and this is the Brow Glue Crazy Lift, and this is a brow lamination gel which has one of those little combs on it. I will 1,000,000% be trying this one out. I'm still trying to find the best alternative to the Patrick Ta brow lamination gel. So far, I really like the one from Physicians Formula. It is the closest so far of the ones that I've tried. It is a little bit more wet than the one from Patrick Ta. So if I can find something that's a little less wet or that like dries down a little quicker, that will be the perfect dupe. So I'm definitely gonna try this one out. Instantly lifts and laminates. Flake proof, sweat resistant, transparent formula. I will try this out, don't you worry. We've also seen some new things from Fenty. I just recently filmed a video about Fenty. I think it's going to be live next week, where I basically talk about Fenty as a brand, the things I love, the things I hate, and how I feel like they're in different categories. Like, it's one of those brands that I either love the product and it's a holy grail for years, or I hate it and I just declutter it straight away. Now they are releasing some new shades and some new scents. So the lip oil is getting released in passion fruit. The Butta drop body cream is released in citrus sorbet, which sounds really nice. I'm actually using the cream today on my arms, and I gotta say I'm very impressed with the formula. The only thing I said is that I wish that it had a smell, so maybe I should try this one. And then they're coming out with the Glass Balm Universal Lip Luminizer in Grape Splash, a shimmering holographic purple shade with a special cap. I think all of these are really smart for the summer. I always have said that I like when brands take formulas or concepts that are popular and come out with them in a new shade or a new scent, and that's exactly what Fenty is doing. And honestly, all three of these sound really nice. The color of that passion fruit lip oil looks delicious. Tower 28 is coming out with an SPF 30. This is part of their SOS series. So this is the SOS FaceGuard. It's a mineral sunscreen with SPF 30, and it's made for sensitive and acne prone skin that won't break you out, burn your eyes, or leave a white cast. I think that's sounds like a really good thing, because those are the three things that people usually have a problem with sunscreens, that they break you out or leave a white cast or they sting your eyes. So I think that sounds really good. SPF 30 is a little low for my face if I'm gonna be in the sun, but on a day-to-day I guess it could be okay, like if you're not going to be out in the sun. But that one I think is available now. Also, Tarte has released a mini palette. I remember I tried one of these mini palettes and I was blown away. I love the quality of it. And this one is the Amazonian Clay Travel Palette. It is 6 mattes and shimmers for endless eye-catching looks. I mean, endless. 4 of them are literally champagnes. I will say though, I do like these. I just wish that they would do maybe... I guess this is what sells. I mean, I shouldn't be wishing for every brand to appeal to me, but I love the one that they had that was like almost like a cool toned mauve deep purple with some shimmers, because it had some contrast, and this one doesn't have much contrast at all, at least from the picture I'm seeing here. So maybe that's what I'm missing. I would just like one of these to have a little bit more contrast, because then I would definitely pick up another one, because I actually did travel with my mini one. I've said mini, I don't remember, mini something, and it was great. I really liked it. We've also seen a sneak peek from Clarity Cosmetics, and it says, do y'all see how shiny Mamba is? So I'm guessing this is a new palette, and Mamba, maybe it's snake themed then. It seems to have, again, what the Tarte palette does not have, a lot of like depth to it. I'm very intrigued to see what this one is. I do have a code with Clarity. I don't know if they're sending this one out in PR or not, but if it's a really interesting color story that I like, I'll definitely try it out. I don't know if I've tried any of their like smaller palettes like this, like slimmer ones, so I definitely think it's time. Let's talk about the new news from Dior as well. Dior is releasing 3 new products. One of them is a blush stick. I think that's really interesting. So these are some shades that I feel like I recognize from their normal blush, or even if it isn't the same shades, it's still within the same shades that they usually do, like cool tone baby pinks. There's like a berry purple, there's this lilac one, and I'm just like, that looks really cool. And then there are the lip glow butters, which is the squeezy tubes with a lip treatment. And then it is, and this one confuses me, because like, you know, those like pH adjusting, because that's what they are, those little Dior blushes that everybody was going on about, the powder one, they have a little pH adjusting to them. That's what makes them so long wearing, because the pink stays on your cheeks. And this is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow long wearing buildable formula with the pH activated color. Same as the blushes they already have, gives skin an instant healthy glow, and is now even more buildable thanks to a formula concentrated pigments. So have they just reformulated the blushes and made them square instead of rectangle? I honestly have no idea. And why would they? Like, why would they reformulate? Or is this just something different? Are they keeping both? I'm so confused by this. Usually when brands reformulate, it is not because they wanted to. It's either because something doesn't sell and they need to call it a reformulation to get people interested in again, or it's because they've been forced to change a factory, so they need to call it a reformulation because they've been forced to use another factory and therefore probably are not able to replicate the exact same formula, or it's because an ingredient is getting banned, or they're trying to avoid an ingredient. Just look at all the brands are trying to get talc for more or less fear-mongering reasons out of their formulas. So I'm not 100% sure why they are reformulating. If it is a reformulation, it's a little bit confusing to me, but I will say those cream blushes, doesn't that sound really intriguing? Let's talk about some industry news as well, and I want to talk about the first one, which is the Touchland. You know, those like hand sanitizers that are So I don't understand really the hype with Touchland, so that hand sanitizers are sold at Sephora. Isn't it crazy how some things, because of how hyped they are, get almost associated with a store that they technically maybe don't belong in? Hand sanitizers in Sephora. But since they are now seen as a Sephora brand, they've been able to branch out, because now they're doing hair and like skin mists with like scent to them, and I've seen those at Sephora. But they have been acquired for $700 million. So Church & Dwight, which is a personal care giant, has bought Touchland for $700 million. They are the brand that owns a lot of like self-care brands like Batiste, for example. And it's really interesting to see that I didn't know that they weren't already part of like a big conglomerate. I didn't know that they were more of a brand that stands on their own. And it only shows that like sometimes even the brands that are at Sephora and are super, super popular, they might still not have been acquired and part of like an umbrella brand. I also wanted to say, because I find this really interesting, I don't know about you, but I've heard so many more people talk about MAC this past couple of years. And MAC has actually, they've had a creative directive, I think for the last 5 years. They had a creative directive, his name was Drew Elliott, but now new creative director of MAC is Nicola Formicetti. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And he is actually a very interesting name, because I feel like he might be exactly what MAC needs. Just a little bit of fresh air, because he is actually the person who was the creative genius behind the Lady Gaga's meat dress. Say what you want about that, but it gave a lot of, like, it formed a lot of press, it got a lot of attention. He has worked a lot in fashion together with Diesel and Mugler, and he's also worked on House Labs with Lady Gaga. So I am very excited to see where this is going, because I feel like the past couple of years, MAC has almost crawled their way back from not irrelevancy, but more like they were kind of like a meh brand. People weren't really thinking about MAC as a fun, exciting, innovative brand the way that they were maybe in the more early 2010s. And I'm excited to see if he can maybe bring even more of a wow factor to the brand now that MAC is starting to seem a little bit more exciting again to people. You're gonna have to let me know how you feel about that. Then I wanted to end with the story about Wayne Goss. Let me share with you what he put up, because it's a really quick message on he put it on YouTube, he put it on Instagram. So let me just play that for you first. If you've seen it, you can just skip by it, but just so you know what we're gonna be talking about.
Hey everyone, okay, so this is a video I thought I would never make. On the 28th of March 2025, I resigned from Wayne Goss Beauty. Now, for reasons that I cannot discuss right now, I had no choice but to walk away, as continuing on was impossible, and believe me, I tried. This means I've resigned not only as director, but also as creative director. I'm no longer involved in the creation, the promotion, or product development of any future products that may appear, or anything behind the scenes. It is worth noting that the first edition, the collector's edition, and white gold, which are currently being carried by Beautylish, plus any other makeup that they may still have, these are my creations and I stand by these. I work diligently on everything that I've created in the past, and I am very proud of them. Let me be unequivocally explicit about this next point, because it is very important. From the date of my resignation, the 28th of March 2025, any products launched from that day onwards that continue to bear my name have nothing to do with me and do not reflect my values or intentions. They are not my vision, and therefore I cannot endorse them, nor have they been created, approved, or signed off by me. This is very important. It is also important to note that should products appear on the market in other countries, so China as an example, that bear my name, the same applies. These are not my creations, nor have I approved or signed off of them. Therefore, I do not endorse them. This has been an incredibly difficult decision. I poured my heart and soul into building this brand, and I truly loved it. I built it from the ground up. I created a brand, a global brand. I am so grateful for the support I've received. You've no idea. But as mentioned earlier, continuing on in its current capacity would have been impossible. Though this chapter has come to a close, it is worth noting that when one door closes, another opens. With over 20 years of experience in this industry, my enthusiasm is stronger than ever. My experience, my insights and vision, they shine bright, and I am excited about the incredible journey ahead. Things are coming, and when the time is right, I will share my vision, my new vision. And it is a beautiful vision. Thank you for your time.
So Wayne Goss is a makeup artist that's been on YouTube as a beauty reviewer and a beauty demonstrator for a really long time. He was on beauty YouTube when I found beauty YouTube. He's been a giant for so long on this platform. He started his own brand. It was one of the first creator brands, and I remember so many people being head over heels for it. I didn't really dive into it, mainly because it was very neutral, which again is what a lot of people go for, but at that time I wasn't interested in neutrals at all, if we're gonna be honest. I have since tried a couple of things in Beautylish Lucky Bags, and quite honestly I've been impressed but not blown away with the quality of the makeup products that I have tried. They're fine. They've been nice. I don't think they're bad at all. But on different occasions on his channel, he has talked about difficulties that he has had in ownership and distribution and finances. And again, as someone who owns my own brand, even though we've only been active or working as a brand for 2+ years, I can understand some of the struggles that comes with overcommitting to quantities or developing stuff or all of these things that can happen to a brand that you really thought you planned for, but fate shows you really didn't. I think that what's been unusual and honestly in a way refreshing with Wayne Goss is how he has been verbally very outspoken on his channel about the difficulties that he has had with his brand. And for some people that feels like sad fishing, and for some people that feels like refreshing. I guess it comes down to how many times you talk about the things that are not working out versus how many times you're talking about the things that are working out. Last I know of the brand is that he sold parts of it to, I'm guessing, investors who are going to help him scale up the brand a little bit. And from what I heard, I actually did watch Jen Loves Makeup. It's not Jen Loves Makeup, Jen Reviews. Jen Loves? She changed her name. And she was talking about the situation, and she had been looking at the actual numbers, and it seems like the investors, two guys and Wayne, were owning 50% each. And if we have watched enough American movies from the 80s, you know you're always supposed to have 51% so that you still have a majority of the stakes and you can make decisions, because it feels like from his video that maybe they ended up in just a standstill where they were pulling in different directions, and since they both have 50% each, nobody was backing down, and maybe that's why we haven't seen a lot of releases from Wayne Goss as a brand for quite some time either. And it seems like he has decided to just step down and made it he was very vocal in this video that anything that comes out after this, even though it has his name on it, he is not putting his stamp on approval of that. And I actually agree, because when I first saw this video, before I heard what Jen had to say about this, my first initial thoughts were, oh, I guess his investors are changing to a factory that has quality that he doesn't agree with, and that's exactly what Jen said as well. So that's going to be my guess. I'm guessing that the other two people in this deal are hoping to cut some corners, increase margins by changing to a facility that, according to Wayne, does not have the same quality that he wants to put his stamp on approval of, and so he's taking a step back. I think he is still financially an owner of the brand, and whatever happens, he will still financially gain from the sales that's happening in the brand. But I do think it shows character to be able to say, listen, even though I'm making money off this brand, I still don't put my stamp of approval of upcoming qualities. And maybe this is his way of using his influence online to get people to understand where he's coming from, and also to get the investors to understand that like it is important when people are used to getting a certain kind of formula, quality, that they keep getting that. Because when there is, like I said, a reformulation, if it's not as good or better, we have seen some brands take a dive after that. So I think it's smart for him to say something. I think sometimes, and I'm not saying that that isn't the situation, but I've seen a lot of like, you know, talks behind the scenes. I think sometimes finance bros, and I say that it's just a collective name for people who care more about numbers than understanding fully what creates those numbers in the beauty industry. They're looking at different ways to save money, not understanding that it won't save them money, it will cost them money. And maybe this was a situation where Wayne was like, I don't know about this. All of this is speculation. I am speculating. I have not asked Wayne any about this. This is just what I think. And I think it's smart for him to say, if there is now a change in the brand, to say, hey, I'm no longer creative director of this brand. I don't have a say in the quality. If you don't like the quality, I didn't sign off on it. I honestly think it's smart, mainly because it's his name on the brand. Which, what have we learned from this? Don't put your name on the brand unless you are gonna be a sole owner of the brand for forever. Looking at you, Wayne Goss. Looking at you, Bobbi Brown. We've seen it happen quite a few times. But that was it. That was what I wanted to talk about today. Ooh, should I actually like double check and see if there's any like new things that we want to talk about? Because you never know. Sometimes they'll like show something just straight out of like, they'll like to just spring something on us. Nope, I don't see anything here. Let me know which ones are your most favorite things from this week. I would love to hear about it. Of course, for me, it's the Singe Beauty release. Obviously, that's very near and dear to my heart. Thank you so much for all the love that you've been showing it. I will have even more looks. I have 2 more looks filmed with the palette that I am gonna post probably today and throughout the weekend. And I'm planning to film a 5th look during the weekend as well, if I have time. If not, I'll film it beginning of next week. Because of course, I love my palette and I have so many things I wanted to show you, so many combinations that I did through developing this palette. But also, and which is really crazy, I'm already like, looking to the future as well, which is fun and exciting, but also like a little stressful and a little surreal. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about things this week. Thank you so much again, for coming back and sponsoring another video on my channel. Don't forget to check them out in the top of the description box down below. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Like the video if you like the video. Leave a comment, it really helps out. And I will see you real soon again for a new video.